Aren't you glad you kind of have a short commute, Dr. Jaimie Ronchetto of Cinema Veterinary Clinic?
It's very
Veterinary
nice.
Center?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, at least. And sometimes, though, there's even traffic here trying to get over here in the morning.
There can be, definitely. You got to leave at the right time.
Indeed, that is true. And that's a good overall. First of all, I leave here like right after 5 o'clock. I seem to miss most of the traffic coming down Soledad that time of morning. Thank goodness. So we're here, Cinema Vet. It's time for our bi-weekly discussion about all things pets. Cinema Veterinary Centre located on Cinema Drive in downtown Valencia. And that you can learn more by going to cinemavet.com. So, Doctor, we're talking off the air about parasites.
Yes.
And how they can manage to make their way to your dog and or cat.
Absolutely. There's lots of those guys out there. We definitely recommend yearly testing, both stool testing and heartworm testing. There's lots of little critters out there that can cause problems, tummy upset, diarrhea, that kind of thing. And other times they don't show any signs at all. Some can just sort of carry them around and potentially spread them and give them to other pets. So it's always good to test and find out if there is anything we need to treat for and get that taken care of. And then we have options for monthly parasite preventatives as well. We carry HeartGuard, which is for heartworm prevention, and carry different options for fleas and ticks as well.
I want to talk a little bit about that because a lot of people, we hear the term ringworm and heartworm and things like that. If left unchecked, for example, what does heartworm do to your pets?
Heartworm is a cardiovascular parasite, and it's transmitted by mosquitoes. So what would happen is if a mosquito took a blood meal from an infected animal, let's say a coyote, because that certainly seems to be a problem out in this region, is the coyotes are very affected with heartworm. Mosquito would take a blood meal from the affected coyote and happens to suck up some of those heartworm larvae into his system, and then he carries it around it with him. And then if he takes a blood meal from your dog, he can inject it into your dog, and then they go through the different blood vessels and grow and mature, and then they multiply and can end up causing heart failure if it goes to that point.
Wow. Now, does it thin the blood, or does it just like block the arteries, or? It
goes through the bloodstream into the cardiovascular the major vessels around the heart, and once the parasite load is big enough, they actually populate the heart itself.
Oh my gosh.
And sit within the chambers.
I just had like a horror story right in the middle of my mind there. Just,
yeah,
wow.
It can be really awful.
And ringworm, is that, it seems like that's something that dogs seem to get a little more regular cats too, right?
Right. Ringworm's actually, worm is a bad term for it, but ringworm is actually a fungus. And so they can pick that up from the environment or another affected animal, and that affects their skin. Sort of similar to when people get ringworm. So they're usually more of a circular lesion. They can get really itchy and crusty, and that can be very contagious to people as well. So you definitely want to get that checked out.
I've had cats over the years I've always adopted from like a local pet store or something. And as kittens, they've all of them have come with worms. And is that like a normal, when you get puppies or kittens, especially if you've not gotten them from like an adoption center or where they've been checked out first, or a friend's dog accidentally had puppies or something like that.
Right.
It's a good opportunity to make sure that you take them in. That's why it's so important to get their first
You definitely want to, get that first stool test done. Even if they've been dewormed in the past, a lot of breeders will routinely deworm their kittens or puppies prior to sending them to the new home. It's still a good idea to check because a lot of times the routine dewormers that they use get the worm type of parasites like roundworms, hookworms, whipworms, but they wouldn't treat for things like Giardia and Coccidia, which can also be lingering, and you can't see those with the naked eye. They're microscopic, and they can cause a lot of tummy problems and diarrhea and fun things like that.
And that's also probably if you're not sure and suddenly your pet has some of those types of symptoms, is it mostly involving stomach trouble? Is that a good first sign? Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes a little bit of vomiting, might be off their food or just not getting the nutrients they need from their food because they have these parasites that are there kind of getting everything that they need. So once you get rid of the parasites, a lot of times you find that your quote unquote poor doing puppy or kitten starts to actually put on weight and act much more healthy.
And it's a much more fulfilling life for everybody when
Yes.
your pet is healthy. So it's a good opportunity to make sure that you bring them into Cinema Vet, Dr. Jaimie Ronchetto. Now, it's cinemavet.com, located on Cinema Drive, and you can always contact them at, what is your phone number? 661-253-9300. So whether or not, also, now, even though last month was National Pet Dental Health Month,
Yes.
it's still a good opportunity. It doesn't mean that you can only get your pet's teeth checked out in February. You can do it anytime.
Absolutely. Any time of the year.
That's it. Perfect. And that's we always talk that up because of the fact that, that's also one of the major causes of issues with pets, and people don't realize that.
Absolutely.
The SCV Charity Chili Cook-Off's coming up Friday, and you're going to be there.
I will be there. Yes.
Outstanding.
I have a booth, so come on over and say hello.
So, and you can actually meet Dr. Jaimie Ronchetto and maybe find out more about ringworm, whipworm, and other kind of worms.
While you eat chili.
While you eat chili. So very outstanding. Or any other things. Just good opportunity. I will tell you, as someone who has actually brought their lovely pets into Cinema Veterinary Centre, very happy with the service. So